Hi everybody, welcome. I'm Professor Shanky, and this video is on.
Alright, so let's take a look at how do we change the properties of the page itself. Most of the time when we're writing a document in Word, we have the general intent of printing it out on paper. And how that prints out is affected by the layout. So let's go up to the Layout tab. We'll see you have a few options here. The first one we're going to talk about is margins. So margins are the blank spaces on the top, bottom, left, and right where my body of my text doesn't print. Now a header or footer can go in that margin area, but this is the main body. So I like 1 inch all around. That gives it a nice space and kind of makes it look a little bit nicer and cleaner, I believe. We can change them. Maybe you want to go with narrow, which is 1/2 inch on the top, bottom, left, and right. Now when I select that, on the right hand side it's going to change. So let's go ahead and click narrow. You'll see now I have much more text on the page, but a lot less white space around the edges. So I'll go back to margins and go back to normal. So now with normal you can see I have a bigger margin with more white space. Now I don't have to use the ones that are built in. I can also do custom margins, which takes me to the page setup where I can manually type in. Maybe I want 2 inches at the top because I have a really big logo I want to put in the header. So I'm going to hit OK. And now I have 2 inches on the top, 1 inch left, 1 inch right, and 1 inch at the bottom. So these are all adjustable. The next one is the orientation. This is where I define if the document is going to be portrait or landscape. So portrait means the paper is taller than it is wide. So that's the standard piece of paper you take off from your printer. If you hold it up and down, it's portrait mode. If you have it on its side, so it's wider than it is tall, that's called landscape mode. Generally, we're going to print in the portrait and do our work in portrait. That's pretty good for text because we read in a columnar fashion. If we have like an infographic or maybe some charts or something that just don't fit, we can change the orientation to landscape. So I'm going to hit landscape, and you'll see how now it's wider than it is tall. But I'm going to go back to portrait, and the next thing is the size. So size means how big is the sheet of paper that you're intending to print on. Now a couple other things that I have in this page setup that are really important to understand is breaks. Till now we've been thinking of this document as one document. So when I apply some styles or apply my headers and footers, it's going to the document as a whole. Now Microsoft Word understands that sometimes you need to do a little more creative work. So we don't always want everything to be in portrait mode. Maybe we want just one page to be landscape out of 100 pages. Or maybe we want headers and footers on every page unless the page has an infographic. We can do that by adding what are called breaks. Now there's different types of breaks. So I'm going to choose the drop down here to show you. We have page breaks and section breaks. Now bear with me, it's not that complex, but there are two distinct different types of breaks. So a page break will define when a page should end and a new page should begin. I want that to be the end of this page. I don't want there to be anything else on this page. I could hit the enter key until everything goes off to the next page. But what that can do is if I add text up here, maybe I'm going to add a new paragraph and some pictures. As I type, it pushes this down further because I filled with blank spaces, right? So I'm going to undo what I just did. I don't want that to happen. I want this to be the end of my page. I'm going to go to Breaks and Page Break. And I click this, and it created a page break. So now you'll see that this one here is at the top of my page. I'm going to come up here, add a new paragraph. Maybe I want to add a picture. I'm moving this text around this page. It doesn't affect down here because I have that hard page break that is preventing anything else from happening on this page. So page breaks will force the text to start on the next page. The difference between a page break and a section break, so page breaks are up here and section breaks are here, is that section breaks allow me to make some formatting changes only to that section. So what do I mean? So right here, I'm going to go to this second page. Let's say I want the second page to be landscape, but only the second page. So if I click on landscape, now my whole document goes to landscape, but I don't want that. So let's go back to portrait. I want only the second page out of my 3 pages to be landscape. So I want to delete and get rid of my page break, and here's a tip. You go back to the home. This little character here is show formatting. It shows all the hidden symbols. If I click that, you'll see my page break here. All I have to do is hit the backspace and delete my page break, and it's going to bring my document back up to where it was. I'm going to turn that back off. So back to my layout, and I'm going to change that from a page break to a section break, and I have different options. I have next page, which will do both a page break and section break in the same, or I could do a continuous or even odd. So I'm going to do a next page. So I want it to be just like a page break, but be a section break as well. So I'm going to hit that. So now I have section 1 here. I have section 2 here, and I need to make this its third one. I'll show you why. So let's go here, and I'm going to change the orientation to landscape, and you'll see now page 1 is portrait, page 2, the second section, is landscape. The trouble is the rest of my document is also in section 2. Because I want to make just page 2 landscape, I need to create another section break as well. So here is the end of my body of text here, and I'm going to have to come in here and put another section break. And here my last section, I'm going to change that back to portrait. So now I have portrait, and then I have my landscape pages, and then I end up with portrait. So that's the difference. So with the different sections, I can have different layouts. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos. I'm Professor Shanky, and I'll see you next time.